Hi, I'm Jeannie Lee. I'm the area coordinator for Big Brothers of the Inland Empire. Welcome to our broadcast. We'd like to take a little time this evening to acquaint you with the Big Brother program, to explain what we do in the Big Brother program and what kinds of things our Bigs and Little Brothers do together. What I'd like to do first is give you a little history of the Big Brother program. The program itself started back in the 1900s in New York City. It was started by a juvenile court clerk by the name of Ernest Coulter. Ernest noticed that a lot of the boys that were coming through the juvenile court system came from single-parent families where the father was absent. So he decided to go back to his Presbyterian Church men's group and request the help of 40 of the men in that group. The men mentored each one of those boys that came through the court system in a one-on-one relationship. That was the beginning of the Big Brother program. Today we have Big Brother and Big Sister programs throughout the United States, in South America, Mexico, and we just started a Big Brother Big Sister program in Moscow the beginning of this year. What I'd like to do now is introduce a Big Brother and an advisory board member to you. His name is Brannigan Leishman, and Brannigan is going to talk to us about the mission statement of Big Brothers and also talk to us a little bit about what the goals and objectives of Big Brothers is. Hi, Brannigan. Welcome.
Hi, Jeannie Lee. It's nice to be here. You give me this mission statement, and one of the biggest things that I remember about my kind of involvement was the idea of being a mentor to a little boy. And the other thing that I think our mission is, as far as the board is concerned, is to make people aware of the Big Brother program and to ask their support and to get them involved as much as possible in that particular area. And I know that we have an awful lot of people who know about Big Brothers, but we don't have a whole lot of people right now who are supporting it as well as I think that can be done, especially in the Riverside, San Bernardino area.
I think you're absolutely right. And one of the reasons for being here this evening is to talk about the boys that we have waiting to be matched. We currently have 47 matches between Bigs and Little Brothers in the Inland Empire, but we have a large number of boys who are in need of a Big Brother. First of all, we have about 110 boys who've already been interviewed and are now waiting to get a Big Brother. We have another list of 225 boys who haven't even been interviewed yet. So as you can see, we have a rather large task ahead of us. We are looking for Big Brothers to volunteer to spend one-on-one time with boys who come from father-absent families. Our Big Brothers come from all walks of life, from truck drivers to corporate presidents. You don't have to be a superhero to be a Big Brother, you just have to be someone who cares. It doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of money. We want you to do everyday kinds of things like flying a kite or going to the park and playing baseball or just sitting and talking. The relationship between Big and Little Brother is what's important. We don't want you to do things like Disneyland and Magic Mountain because those things aren't real. And also we don't want you to spend a lot of money. We want you to spend quality time. At this time I'd like to introduce a couple Bigs and Little Brothers. First of all, I'd like to introduce to you Keith Shoemaker and his little brother Chris. Keith, come on up and join us here. Come on, Chris, you too. Keith was in our Bachelor auction in February of this year, and his date raised $1,100 for the agency. Keith, what did you think of the Bachelor auction?
It was a real enjoyable time. It was a very different opportunity for a young man, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
I think probably one of the things you enjoyed was that there was 800 women and 35 men, huh?
Classic.
What I'd like to do, Keith, is just talk to you a little bit about your relationship with Chris and just ask you some questions about that. First of all, why did you decide to get involved in the Big Brother program?
It was a personal challenge to myself, a sort of a New Year's resolution. I needed some way to give back to the community. I felt like I was a very fortunate young man. I had a lot of things go my way, and I looked for an alternative, so I could provide some sort of assistance. And contacting several different agencies, I made an effort to contact Big Brothers, and of course, we know the rest from there.
What's the hardest part about being a big brother?
Making sure that you're making a contact, making sure that you're making a difference in a young man's life. You want to plan your events. You want to provide enough variety. You want to make sure that you're doing the proper things. Every day is tough, but yet every day is so rewarding that you get an opportunity to spend with Christopher. Christopher being a little brother of mine, I feel like every day we spend together, it's a lifetime. So
Let's talk a little bit about the rewards then. What's the best part about being a big brother?
the rewards, the revenue, the psychic income that I receive from Christopher when I see his smiling face, when I see a connection between himself and myself. When we do something together and we laugh about it, when he gets a base hit in the ball game, and I know it's because we worked extremely hard at it, those things that you cannot purchase. That's probably the biggest reward for me.
Let's talk about the kinds of things you and Christopher do together. Tell us the activities that you guys do on a weekly basis.
We have a baseball workout that we go through. We swim quite often at our local swimming hole. Golfing. We're avid golfers. That's the movies. It just depends on what day, his schedule and my schedule, but there is all sorts of different activities for the two of us.
Who gets to pick what you do each week?
Well, we try to trade off, but I try not to overburden, and I also don't let him pick too many either. So we get to trade off.
That sounds fair. What would you say to a prospective big brother who's thinking about coming into the program?
Challenge yourself and decide what's important to you, and also understand that it's an extremely big responsibility. Make sure that you want to do it and set your goals high and look forward to really making a difference in a young man's life.
What has the program given to you, Keith? I know you've given lots to the program, but what's it given to you?
That's given me an opportunity to really feel like I'm a member of my community. It's given me an opportunity to brag about my little brother. It's given me an opportunity to shine. It's giving me an incentive to wake up every day, go to work, do the things I need to do, and spend my weekend time with Christopher.
All right, that's great. Chris, I'd like to talk to you for a little bit, and I want to know, why did you want to have a big brother?
I was getting in trouble at school and everything. So my mom took me down to the office one day and she signed me up for a big brother. And it took a while, but I got one. I'm glad she signed me up.
Do you remember how long it took?
About 6 months.
Yeah, I think it was about 6 months. And, you know, most of our kids wait longer than that. Our waiting list is usually kids wait 6 months to a year and longer. So you were real lucky to get matched as quickly as you did. What are some of the things that that you like about having a big brother?
I like that I get to talk to him when I need to say something. And he teaches me a lot of things. We do a lot of stuff, like teaches like baseball to me and everything. Stuff that I didn't know. And
What did you guys do together, say, this last weekend when you got together?
last time we worked on his house and went swimming.
Oh, I see. So you had to do some work around the house before you got to go swimming. Keith didn't mention that when he was telling us what little brothers and big brothers did together. But I think that's one of the most important things, too, is learning how to do those kinds of things around the house, because moms don't always know how to do those kinds of things. And it's maybe something like learning to change the oil in your car or change a tire, or just do those kinds of things that maybe moms wouldn't know how to do. And that's one of the neat things about having a big brother then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the Big Brother program or your relationship with Keith that's been really special for you?
It's real fun, and not everybody gets the chance to do it.
So you feel lucky, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Chris. I really appreciate it. Now what I'd like to do is introduce you to one of our moms in our program. Carolyn DeHart has 2 boys in our program. And what we're going to do is thank Keith and Chris for coming up and talking to us today. And then we're going to have Carolyn and Josh. I'd like you to come up because Josh is Brannigan's little brother. And we're going to spend some time talking with them. Brannigan, I'd like you to kind of switch hats here from being a board member to now being a Big Brother. And tell us a little bit about why you decided to get involved in the Big Brother program.
Well, I had been involved back a while ago when I was in Oklahoma. And I came out here and found myself missing some things, especially after I got divorced. And so I applied to be a Big Brother. And I have discovered that it is more now that I guess I'm supposedly a little more mature. And that was one of the major reasons, is that I needed somebody in my life to be a little bit younger. Somebody has once told me I'm a real serious person. And it's really nice to have somebody who's a little bit younger and deals with different things that I don't even think about very much anymore.
One of the things that Big Brothers tell me a lot is that one of the reasons why they want to be a Big Brother is because they get to do dumb kid stuff and people won't laugh at them because they're doing things that kids like to do. How long have you and Josh been matched?
I think it's going on about 4 years and plus a little bit, and it's been a great experience for me. And and it's interesting to know that the time has gone by real quick. The fact that we get together about once a week seems to help an awful lot. And it varies sometimes depending on my schedule. And interestingly enough, I never thought children had as busy a schedule, but his schedule sometimes gets a little bit hindering. And so we spend 3 to 6 hours a week or a weekend, depending on how it works out.
We only ask for a year's commitment to the program to be a Big Brother. So why did you decide to continue for as long as you have?
Wow. I would say that I've liked Josh, is basically what it amounts to, and I don't see us breaking up unless all of a sudden he gets interested in girls.
Which probably will
Which
happen.
may happen in the next couple of years or so.
He swears it won't.
And so anyway, the idea for me has just been that I get a lot of satisfaction. I was listening and he was talking about psychic benefits, and I was thinking, yeah, there's an awful lot of those that go on. And it's also one of the reasons why I want the program to continue in the Inland Empire. We've been dealing with that aspect so much, and we are looking for more people to come into the program, either as a board member or as a Big Brother, because you were talking about 125 or 200 people that haven't even really been talked to yet. Mm-hmm. And we've got 100 waiting list above that. And there's only, I believe you said, 47 matches in the Inland Empire at the moment. And that's getting to be a little much. So we're really looking forward to the idea of enlisting more people, especially for this type of program, and it's great.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think it's real important that we reach out to the community and ask for their assistance. Before I start talking to Josh, just tell me what you've learned from being a Big Brother.
Patience. It seems like I want it now. I think it's sometimes called delayed gratification also. Because one of the things that I've often thought is that I'm such a neat guy that, you know, he should realize all of those things and show it all the time. And we have an agreement that he says it's great whether it is or not.
I see, okay. Is that true, Josh?
Sort of.
Tell me what you like about having a Big Brother.
Well, what can I say? Helps you from not being bored.
Keeps you from being bored.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a very important thing because we know when people get bored, then they can get into all kinds of trouble, right?
Right.
And one of the things that we know about kids that have some problems in school and in delinquency problems is that part of it is that they're bored. So that's probably a real good reason to have a big brother, is so you don't be bored. Tell us something that you've done with Brannigan that's been really special for you.
Well, there are many things, but I can think of the one time we went that camping trip in Big Bear in March. I also remember you got sick afterwards.
True.
All the junk food.
I see, okay.
Kids food, excuse me.
Well, I remember that you and Brannigan were doing a lot of golfing. Have you been doing that recently?
Not recently.
But you were getting pretty good there, as I
Yeah.
remember. What would you like to say to a man who wants to become a big brother?
Well, I believe that they should go for it.
It's been an important program to you, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
And I think it's been real important to all of our little brothers. Thanks, Josh. We appreciate you being able to come up and talk to us. Now, is it okay if I talk with your mom for a little bit?
That's okay with me.
Okay. Carolyn, tell me how you heard about the Big Brother program and why you decided to enroll Josh and Scott in the program.
Absolute desperation, actually, is why I signed up. When my ex-husband and I got a divorce, he moved back to Maryland, and the boys didn't have any access to a man. And boys are different. There's just no way about it. There are things I just can't offer them, like sports. I'm not going to go out there, and I've never thrown a football in my life, and I don't think I'm going to start now. And so I signed him up for baseball, and he got a woman coach. And then I signed Josh up for Cub Scouts, and he got a woman den leader. And everywhere we went, it was just like a female Amazonia. There just was, there weren't men in his life. My uncles are in their 80s and don't wrestle very well. So I saw a commercial on TV for it. And I called, and we were very lucky because Josh only had to wait just a few months, like 4 months or so. Scott, who is 5 years younger than Josh, had to wait a year and a half, and we're very grateful for his match too. But it's important for boys. I don't want them to grow up and be me. A slightly more masculine me. That's not going to work too well. So. There are questions that I don't have the answers to that Brannigan does. I see, poor Brannigan doesn't see it, but I see the effect that he has on Joshua all the time. It's there, and it's real, and it's important. And Josh is an honor student at school, and I don't have trouble with him. And I think Brannigan plays a large part in that.
One of the things that I like to say at the orientation is that moms cannot relate to what it's like to be a 13-year-old boy. They can relate to what it's like to be a 13-year-old girl.
Yes.
But when it comes to having those feelings that boys have at 12 and 13, moms just can't do that. And that's one of the beautiful things about this program, is that we provide a man who can teach a boy how to be a man and how to grow up in this society. Has your perception changed about the Big Brother program? When you first came in, did you have any concerns about the program or about having your son matched in the program?
Well, I've always trusted you. You're so warm and wonderful that, I've always been very comfortable. And I thought your interview with Josh he's a little reticent about talking about things. So you got his interest out from him, and there was, Brannigan's such a good match. They're both into computers and things like that. So, no, I'm very comfortable. My enthusiasm only increases over the years.
That's wonderful. In what ways has Josh benefited from being matched with Brannigan? Can you look at him 4 years ago and now look at him now and see what changes have been made?
Well, the biggest benefit for Josh, you can't see a change with Josh so much. He is just such a reticent child. He wants to put up this front, that nothing is ever wrong and everything. And I know that he can talk to Brannigan. Brannigan is somewhat the same way, that they don't. They're not as outgoing as they might be. They hold themselves in, and I think he's just such a wonderful role model for Josh, specifically for this reason, because they both have the same quality of, I can do it by myself, and I won't, give you my burden or anything like that. Because Josh will tell me, in the middle of a disaster that, that he's fine, So I think he sees that it's okay, that and that he talks to Brannigan. rather than me. I'm sure I'm the topic of conversation when Mom's been unfair more than once.
Well, we try to make matches based on the hobbies and interests that they share in common, personality characteristics. We try to match based on the city that they live in, and you know all of those things. So it sounds like we did an okay job with Brannigan and Josh.
Oh, I'm totally grateful for the match. I just think it's wonderful. And my little ones, he just recently, it'll be 6 months next month, that he's been matched, and he's just, the enthusiasm there, it's just so wonderful. It's been 5 years since he's seen his father, so he basically he doesn't remember his father. He's a picture on the wall and maybe a phone call. And so his big brother is his role model, and he needs one. Boys need them. And down the road, when he gets older, I think is when it's more important. Right now, it's just, they can be silly together. I've never been very good at being silly together, so they can be silly together and have fun together. But he's also someone that Scott's going to grow more like, and I can't think of anybody I'd rather him be more like.
It's always amazing to me to see the boys before they're matched and then see them after. And within 4 or 5 months of being matched, they're combing their hair the same way their big brother does, or they're standing with their hands in their pockets the same way, or they're saying different words and things that the big brother says. It's almost like a clone. And I think that really shows how really important the friendship is, because they do relate so quickly to their big brothers. I'd like to thank Brannigan, you and Josh and Carol and you for coming on and talking with us today and sharing your experiences in the Big Brother program, because I think that's the best way that we can talk about this program, is to have people that are involved in it doing that. These are just a few of the success stories in the Big Brother program. I'd like to appeal to you to help us help more kids. We need your support financially because we carefully screen our volunteers. This is an expensive program to administer. We don't charge the moms a fee for the service, and the Big Brothers do this as volunteer work. We're a nonprofit agency, not funded by the government or a United Way agency. I'd like to ask you to make a contribution to Big Brothers and to ask your employer to do the same thing.
You can make a tax-deductible donation to Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Inland Empire at 8880 Benson Avenue, Suite 112, Montclair, California.
Finally, I'd like to ask you to become a Big Brother, or if you know a man that you think would make a good Big Brother, to tell him that you've seen this broadcast and to enlist his help in matching some of the boys that we have waiting.
Please give us a call at 909-763-5959. That's 909-763-5959. You can also email info@iebigs.org.
There are hundreds of boys in the Inland Empire who need your help and guidance. You can help make the world a better place, one person at a time, by picking up the phone and calling and telling me you'd like to become a Big Brother. Thanks for listening to our broadcast.